Luis Díaz heads for Anfield exit, what it means for his legacy and Liverpool's transfer plans. When Luis Díaz's then-fiancée Gara Ponce posted a tribute to Liverpool supporters on social media at the end of last season, it felt like a goodbye. The words were accompanied by photographs and videos of them celebrating in front of the Kop with their young daughters, Roma and Charlotte, following the Premier League trophy lift in May. Diaz had the Colombian flag wrapped around his waist as his song boomed around Anfield. "From the first day we arrived, we felt firsthand what it means to be a part of this club," she wrote. "What you have made my boyfriend and our entire family feel is something we carry in our souls. Thank you for so much love, for so much dedication, and for making us feel at home. This is a real bond, deep and strong, that reaffirms that we'll never walk alone." 2 months on, that farewell has been confirmed, with Diaz set to complete a €75 million, £65.6 million, $88.1 million move to Bayern Munich. It brings down the curtain on a 3.5-year Anfield career that yielded 41 goals in 148 appearances. His impact was instant following his arrival from Porto in January 2022. With his ability to bamboozle defenders, he created a goal for Takumi Minamino just 10 minutes into his debut against Cardiff City in the FA Cup. Former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp said he had never met a player who smiled so much in training. With Sadio Mane moved into the centre to accommodate Diaz on the left, he quickly became a fan favourite. They loved his direct approach with the ball at his feet and his tenacity out of possession. Diaz, who was affectionately known as Lucho by teammates and staff, started all 3 finals in 2021-22 as Liverpool won a domestic cup double but suffered an agonizing defeat against Real Madrid in the Champions League showpiece in Paris and finished a point behind Manchester City in the Premier League. A knee injury hampered him the following season, but in 2023-24, he was massively influential as Klopp's side lifted the Carabao Cup again before their title challenge faded. There was the relief of his father, Luis Manuel Diaz, being released after being held hostage for 12 days by the National Liberation Army in Colombia. On the field, for all the dazzling approach play, there was a lack of end product at times. Head coach Arne Slot said about improving that when he arrived last summer by getting Diaz on the ball in more central areas. There was a first hat-trick of his professional career against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League last November when he was employed as a false 9. It was a tactic Slot persisted with when they lined up without Darwin Núñez or Diogo Jota twice in the 6-3 demolition of Tottenham Hotspur in December, having done the same against Manchester United at Old Trafford at the start of the season. He also cancelled out Spurs' early opener at Anfield on the day the title was won in April. His overall return of 17 goals in all competitions was the best of his Liverpool career, and only Mohamed Salah scored more than his 13 league goals for the club in 2024-25. On the face of it, agreeing to sanction the exit of such a popular figure who was at his peak is questionable, but when you dig deeper, it makes more sense. For a start, Diaz was determined to leave, having twice turned down Liverpool's attempts to get him to sign a new contract. There was just too big a gap between what he wanted and what the club was willing to offer. He had initially signaled his desire to pursue a new challenge 12 months ago when he had Barcelona pursuing him, but Liverpool made it clear then that he wasn't for sale. That stance remained in place at the start of this summer, but with Diaz still unwilling to sign an extension and Bayern prepared to increase their initial offer of €67.5 million, the ground started to shift. Liverpool reluctantly did business, knowing that if they kept hold of him until next summer, his value would drop considerably as he approached the final 12 months of his contract. Ultimately, sporting director Richard Hughes ensured they pocketed €75 million for a 28-year-old who cost them €49 million from Porto and gave them great service. The parting of the ways has been respectful, with Diaz not missing a training session during the Tour of Asia before being granted permission to fly to Munich to complete the formalities. Liverpool believe they have sufficient left-sided cover already in place. Cody Gakpo, who scored 18 goals in all competitions last season, is expected to kick on and play an even bigger part. New signing Hugo Ekitike can operate off that flank as well as through the middle, while the emergence of Rio Ngumaha is another factor. It would be wrong to expect too much from Nguma given he doesn't even turn 17 for another month, but he's a massive talent. He has lit up pre-season and you don't want to block his pathway. Diaz is highly unlikely to be the last senior Liverpool attacker to leave in this window. There's ongoing interest from Saudi Pro League teams in Núñez, while Federico Chiesa continues to be linked with a return to Italy. On the right, Liverpool have Jeremy Frimpong, who can deputise for Sulla. Harvey Elliott and Ben Doak are also options, although they could both depart in the coming weeks if suitable offers are forthcoming. The real intrigue surrounds what happens centrally. Nunez being replaced by Alexander Isak is the dream scenario. However, for that to happen, Newcastle United will have to soften their stance over the Swedish striker not being for sale. Liverpool would also need to command a decent fee for Nunez to help finance it. To have tactical flexibility, and Florian Wirtz could operate at times in the false nine role that Diaz filled on occasions last season. In terms of his legacy, Diaz never consistently hit the heights of Sulla, Maine or Roberto Firmino. When it comes to legendary status, he belongs on the next rung down. It feels like a strange time to want to leave Liverpool, but at this stage of his career, he wanted the security of a big pay rise across a long-term contract stretching into his early 30s. His salary on Merseyside was always significantly higher than the £60,000 per week sometimes reported. Diaz and Guerra were married in their homeland last month, and they will now start a new chapter together in Munich. He will be missed in the Liverpool dressing room, especially among the close-knit South American contingent. He leaves behind some special memories and is guaranteed the warmest of receptions at Anfield if he returns with Bayern. Stay tuned as we break down the latest updates, fan reactions, and expert analysis on Luis Díaz's possible exit from Liverpool. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more football transfer news.